I've been thinking a ton about YouTube, trying to figure it out. What do I want to do on it? How can I really help people? How can I have fun? I would say that one of the big things I've learned during the pandemic is I miss interacting with people. I just do. Like, my favorite thing in the world is when I get to interact with people at live events. Like, as a public speaker, I get to connect with people. I get to connect in the lobby, on stage, like all these things. And then all of a sudden COVID was like, whoop, and it all disappeared. And I'm realizing I love to interact with people, and I love to have what I create be something that I get to interact with people about. And right now it feels like I've lost a lot of that. It just feels like really kind of like one-sided, no interaction. And in order for me to create great stuff, I need to interact with great people. Like, that's just how I'm wired. It took me years to understand that with my first blog. I had a blog called Stuff Christians Like, and it was a satire of faith. I'm a pastor's kid, so I grew up in the church, and I had so many fun interactions. So many, like, it was so alive in the comment section. Like, people would write the most amazing comments, and then they'd end up guest posting for me, and then we'd end up becoming friends. And like, I had so many real relationships that came out of that. And I don't know, the internet just doesn't feel like that for me right now. Like, it just doesn't. Maybe it's because we're divided and we're politically angry and everybody's like fighting all the time. But I want to try to get back to that, where I'm creating ideas that I get to interact with people about. So I'm going to try something. I don't know the shape of it yet. I don't know how it's going to go or what it's going to look like. But I think I'm going to try to do like a show, like a tiny little YouTube show where I get on live like this, and I'll have some set times, and I share one idea, like not 1,000 ideas, one idea. I also know about me, I need a framework. Like, if it's endless and every opportunity is available, I get overwhelmed. Like, it's paradox of choice. Like, if I go, you can write and talk about whatever you want, like, that's intimidating to me. As a creative, I need a box. I need to know, like, boop, 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 here's what I'm creating in. There's all this research about that. There's a ton of research that if you have a framework as a creative person, you actually get more done. So I'm working right now. It's the end of the year. I'm planning next year to come up with a framework. So I'd love to hear from your perspective, what would be awesome? And here's what I'm thinking about. I'm going to talk about goals. Like, that's what I care about. That's what I care about the most. I think finishing a goal is the best feeling in the world. Like, goals have changed my life. And I love when I connect with other people and I'm able to go, hey, have you thought about this? Have you tried this? What if you did this? And then they get to change their life. Like, that is so fun to me. So in 2021, I'm really going to be focused on goals. And even my book Soundtracks, I've got a new book coming out. That book is really about going, okay, I really believe in finishing goals. What gets in the way? Wow, overthinking gets in the way. Overthinking is a huge obstacle. What if I could figure out overthinking? What if I could do a 2-year research project into overthinking, come up with some solutions, test them, and then share them in a really creative way? That's what Soundtrack's about. But it's ultimately a book about how do you accomplish the things you want to accomplish. So here's one of the ideas I'm going to test. I don't know where it'll go yet. But for me, like, I'm going to write down one idea on a Postit note. This is just how it is. I have stacks and stacks and stacks. We made finished Postit notes. They say, today I will finish. And I have stacks of these in my office closet, just stacks. So I thought it'd be fun, instead of writing down 1,000 ideas, instead of doing the fire hose thing, to write down one idea, and then I'm going to talk about it. And it's not going to be perfect. Like, for me as a creator, perfectionism and YouTube are like a terrible 1-2 punch, because like anytime I try to do the video, I think this is forever. This is going to last forever. Oh no, what do I do? Like, and it's so many skill sets I don't naturally have. And so whenever I sit down to film a video, like, it fires every degree of perfectionism. Like, it just does. And so I think if I do a show and I'm like, hey, here's the 3 times I'm going to do it, I will actually feel more creatively free. I won't worry about angles and lighting and like all the stuff that I suck at. And I don't even really want to get good at. I want to be honest with you. Like, when I see somebody who's amazing at filming videos, a lot of times I go, they're amazing at videos. They're not a writer. I'm a writer. The thing I'm really good at doing is writing. I'm not good at being an amazing videographer. That's not my skill set. So I want to try it today. I've got, and an idea written down on this Post-it note. I have stacks and stacks of these. So we'll see. We'll see if I want to do it. I tend to announce things before I've even done them once. So I'm not going to say like, I'll do this forever. I'm going to write and talk about one idea today. And I'm going to figure out how many times a week do I want to do it? How do I have a show? How do I interact with you guys? I'll definitely answer questions about the idea. Somebody asked if being on Lego Masters is a goal. It's not, in the sense of like, my friend, the guy who edits my videos, Chris Zimmerman, he's an amazing Lego builder. I'm not a Lego builder. I like to put together, if you see right there, Lego sets. I'm not a dude where it's like, and I built this real Toyota 4Runner using my own plans. It's not, I don't like that. I like to follow Lego instructions versus create my own, because it's peaceful for me to follow instructions. Okay, today, what I've written down on this, and it's going to help you with a goal. Like, I really think like this is an idea that I'm super excited about. If you came over, I would tell you about this idea, but you're not here. We're all separated. I wrote down on this Post-it note, not every goal deserves A+ effort. That's the idea I'm going to tell you about today. Not every goal deserves A+ effort. What do I mean by that? I mean that often you hear people say like, you should give 110% to everything you do. Everything you create, everything you touch, every goal you have, every part of your life, it all deserves A+ effort, 110% of who you are. And I don't think that's true. I might have when I was younger, but now that I'm in my mid-40s, I'm like, nah, not everything deserves the best of you. It doesn't. There's a lot of things you're going to do in the pursuit of your day, in the pursuit of a goal, as you build a business, as you lose weight, whatever your goal is, that don't deserve the very best of you. Let me tell you where I first bumped into this idea. So I used to work at Home Depot. I wrote advertising for Expo Design Center. It was their luxury brand, like their fancy brand. And I was the copywriter. And it was an amazing job. I learned a ton there. And I had a manager come over to me one day, and I had 2 projects. I had a catalog. Like, the catalog was going to like redesign the entire positioning of our company. Like, it was a huge new direction. It was like a 96-page catalog that I had to write all the ad copy for. So like, if you ask me like, John, could you write about rugs? Like, dude, I can crush rugs. Like I will write some advertising copy that you'll be like, I need a rug. Like, I need to buy a rug right now. Oh, I need a rug. And so I had these 2 projects. One's a huge catalog. One's a postcard. And I'm like, it's a postcard for like a Memorial Day sale on rugs. And I'm like writing headlines and copy. I'm like, oh man, like I want to really workshop this headline. And my manager came over and she was like, hey, no offense. The second that postcard leaves the building, no one will remember it. The second it's gone, it's gone forever. But the catalog, everyone in this office is going to look at. Every executive is going to review. Everyone is going to pour over this. And what she was saying to me is, you need more than one speed. If your whole thing is, I do the same level of like content and excellence and everything to everything I do, I bring 110% to everything I do, you end up writing a postcard and a catalog as if they're the same, and they're not. So you have to look at your goal and go, which parts of these need my C- effort? What if you said that? What if you said, like, what if in 2021 you gave yourself permission to phone it in? Like, that's what I think is the takeaway here. Occasionally, you better phone it in. You better phone in some stuff that you're like, nah, it's not important. Nah, it's not important. That gets C-. Like, what if you made a list of things that you were like, here are my C- efforts. And you removed all that shame, all that guilt, all that pressure. Was like, you got to do it perfectly. You got to do it perfectly. You got to do it perfectly. It reminds me of another story. A friend of mine, their high school daughter, high school and sophomore. So she's a sophomore in high school. And she had to write 10 poems for an English class. And she realized something before she started to write them. She realized that the teacher, her English teacher, had 3 classes with 30 kids each in the class. And she knew that each class was doing the same things. So she realized, wow. So if there's 90 kids and they're each writing 10 poems, that's 900 poems. And she made a calculated decision. She decided, I don't think that this English teacher is going to pour over every single poem. There's 900. No offense to any English teacher out there. No offense to any teacher. But if you've got 900 poems to read and you're a high school sophomore English teacher, there's a chance you're gonna skim some. So this student, who's a friend of ours, did a brilliant thing. She said, I wrote the first one. The first poem I wrote, it was amazing. Poems 2 through 10, kind of average. Like I didn't spend a whole lot of time on them. That student got 100. She got an A+. Her friends took months and months and all this time to write these poems. Like, that poem project killed me. It was so hard. And my friend's daughter was like, it really wasn't that hard. You write the first one amazing. Poems 2 through 10 didn't really matter a whole lot. And now you can look at that two ways. You can go, oh, she didn't learn how to, the effort of writing 10 poems, blah, blah, blah. But I think she learned an even more important lesson, a lesson that'll serve her at every job she ever has, which is read the room. Figure out which things that we're building right now matter. Figure out which things deserve a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of creativity. And then figure out which things don't. She wrote an amazing first poem. Poems 2 through 10 didn't matter a whole lot. So that's the lesson today. Phone it in. Todd, you're 100% right. C- effort sounds like choosing what to fail from finish. There's a whole chapter about choosing what you're going to bomb in this book, Finish, I wrote. So any questions about today's idea? Today's idea, phone it in. I got it on Postit Note right here. Not everything deserves A+ effort. Phone some stuff in. In 2021, phone some stuff in. Not everything you do deserves A+ work. And remember, 2 stories. Donna at Home Depot and the student that wrote poems. Like, she wrote the first one amazing, 2 through 10, real chill. Awesome. All right. Thanks, guys.